Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the WILDER squad, SYLVAN squad boss for the Ravaged realm. And for this boss we managed to get our highest ranking ever. We got rank 1 as you can see. And it is probably because our top ranker hasn't attacked yet, who is Splash. But I was not really expecting this because I was thinking dionel would be kind of needed for these teams. But it turns out that dionel is probably not the best option even if you have built him up. And because I don't have dionel built up, I'm able to compete for high ranks just using the WILDER heroes. So this is the formation that I was running and pretty much is overall considered to be the best team. So you're going to want to run Rainier on the first team, and that is because it will cause that damage debuff onto the boss, increasing the damage the boss receives by 25%. And then your Lily, May, and Floribel, who are your major forms of damage, are both going to be in here. You have the Leica to increase their attack speed, and also apply the physical defense reduction for Floribel to increase her damage. And you have Damien here to give the haste buff throughout the fight. If you have him at Mythic Plus, then he will be giving haste buff along with his healing. And that is going to increase your attack speed of your allies and also make their skill casting more frequent. So that is why this team is really the optimal for the first lineup, with the evocation spell just for some more buffs. For the second team, it is a magical damage oriented team with Brian and Prissa as your damage dealers, and Haywin there to just make sure they survive throughout the entire fight. But as you can tell, Brian is really outputting the majority of the damage in this team. So these are the key heroes to run. I'm going to show you the magic charms I have equipped to them, and I'll talk about some replacements if maybe you don't have these heroes built up to Mythic Plus. So let's take a look at all of the WILDER heroes. Okay, so in terms of replacements, the thing is, Iron Arden, who maybe a lot of people have built up, they are not great in boss fights because they deal AoE damage. And so the damage gets kind of wasted being only channeled into one single enemy. So I would definitely think you could use Arden and maybe experiment with him in the second magical damage dealer team, maybe if you don't have Prissa or Brian built up. But I would first try the Prissa, Brian, Haywin team, even if you don't have them very highly ascended. Okay, so now Brian, I mean, there's so many different options for his magic charm. Attack and attack speed are a really good option as well, and even haste and attack speed really good because haste already is going to cause faster skill casting, and he deals a lot of damage with his skills, and it also gives the bonus attack speed because haste as a stat gives you that 5, like if it's 5 haste, 5% attack speed as well as 5% faster skill casting. Even the Titanic charm, attack and crit, not a bad option, but I think the best charms seem to be attack speed along with one other offensive stat for Brian. And if we take a look at Leica, definitely for Leica, hands down, you want these Mystic Charms. You definitely want Skill Power, because Skill Power will increase the attack speed buff she gives to allies by 5 each power you have. So with 3 Skill Power, you're getting 15 bonus attack speed to your allies, and Haste to allow her to cast her skills more frequently, because she's basically a supporter. Prissa, again, she has very similar options of charms to Brian, but I think again, probably going for either haste and attack speed, probably the best option for the faster skill casting. You could even experiment with arcane attack and skill power, but I feel like haste is probably the way to go. So that's why I went for those charms. Arden doesn't matter because he's not a key option here. Floribel, definitely I think you want to go for this skill power and haste. They're both offensive stats. Skill power will cause her to deal more damage in the fight. For example, ultimate strength will just cause her minion, her major summon when she uses her ultimate, to have more HP. But you're not worried about the HP or the tankiness of her minions, you just want to output as much damage. And haste as well, going to be faster attack speed and faster skill casting. Granny, Iron don't matter because they're not key options. For Damien, I mean, I don't know, like, maybe you could go for attack charms to try and increase his damage output, but I just went for healing just to make sure that everyone survives. But I think probably the team would survive even without this, so you could maybe go for attack and attack speed. Okay, we'll do one more test, and I'll just try attack and attack speed, because I really don't think the team will have trouble surviving with Damien there. And then finally we have the Haywin. We have Haywin, who is here for Haywin healing and skill power. Skill power will increase the effectiveness of her heals, and healing will increase also the effectiveness of her heals, so it will just keep your team alive for longer. Also, one interesting thing about the skill power of Haywin, I don't know how applicable this will be to the boss, but it will, the effect can trigger once for each ally every 6 minus 1 seconds. If you have skill power to max, every 3 seconds this effect can trigger, and this will cause them to remove all their dispellable debuffs. I don't know if, like, for example, the knock-up or the silence are considered to be dispellable debuffs on your team, but for this boss, but if they are, then that is why maybe having the skill power is good. But either way, skill power will give you healing. And then finally, Lily May, I think the best charms for her are the ones that give her attack and skill power, both defensive stats, and the skill power is really important because that will increase the true damage that she can output, and that is her key form of damage. So those are basically the mythic magic charms. Now we're going to go back and we're going to do some more attempts, and I think I'm going to change up the lineup a bit. I'm going to show you the lineup, or like the arrangement of heroes which I used, but I think maybe it would be better if we had Damien even further up, because the thing is, you want Damien to always be buffing up your team with haste, and Lily May ends up going towards the front, and I want to make sure Damien is always around that. And we could go for something like this, Leica in the back, because when she casts her ultimate, you want to try to land that on all of your allies as well. The allies under Nebula Reflection summon meteors, so Leica right in the back position here probably. And then here we have this team lineup. I don't know, Brian, Parissa, who should be tanking the most aggro. We can experiment with this Brian first, and then just Hayward in the back. Crescent spell to increase the magical damage. Okay, so let's take a look at the fight. Of course you want Lily May to be buffed up with the attack buff from Rainier, because she is your main damage source. And I do not know, I think the Damien haste buff is applying to the minions. I'm not completely sure about that, but either way, I think the Damien positioning seems pretty good here. Yeah, an attack speed will allow him to maybe increase his damage output compared to the other charms we had equipped. So 50 seconds down, already 11.5 billion damage. My current record is 27.2 billion damage. And the second team doesn't contribute that much damage, maybe around 7+ billion damage. So if we want to set a new record, we probably have to hit like close to 20 billion on this first team. So all the team is all grouped up, hopefully all getting the advantage of the Damien haste buff and the healing. Yeah, they're all topped off, no issue surviving, even without those healing charms that we had on Damien before. And 17 billion damage. Need to get a bit more, need to squeeze out like 19 billion if possible. Oh, the boss is just going to burrow underground, and then we're not able to hit him. And okay, 18.6 billion damage, I guess not too bad. And for the second team, we're gonna have Brian tank this time. Yeah, definitely this team would probably die without the Haywin, and that is why Haywin is necessary here for the healing. I really want to see if it's possible for her to remove any, like dispel any debuffs, but I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell. Anyway, so up to 4 billion damage, 55 seconds left. Brian does the most damage in this team, so maybe like replacing Parissa could be an option if your Parissa isn't highly ascended. And also, just in general with these runs, you'll want to do multiple attempts, especially if you have like crit damage boost charms or crit percent charms, to try and get that run where you get a lot of crits. So I don't think this is on track to set a new record. We're getting really close. If we could get 9 billion here, I think it will like tie our previous record. Almost 9 billion damage. So pretty consistently, this team is going to be outputting... oh, we got a new best. 27.5 billion with this lineup is really good. Okay, so overall, this is basically the team you will probably want to be running for the SYLVAN squad. And it's really cool that you don't need to use dionel. I didn't know, because like I know dionel isn't a great hero to use in bosses in general, but when you're limited on options and you have to be like locked into this faction, I thought maybe there would be a way to make use of dionel. I think some people did use dionel instead of maybe Floribel in the first team, and shifted Floribel to the second team, and maybe got a little bit higher damage, and probably maybe that would be the best, like have dionel in the first team and replace Parissa with Floribel in the second team, maybe, because Parissa seems to be kind of the lowest damage contributor, but in that run she did do over 3 billion damage. Floribel and Lily May, and Leica is here to support, and Damien. Yeah, Damien's damage doesn't matter, and that's why whether you have the attack speed charms or the healing charms, it probably doesn't make a big difference. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and good luck on the Sylvan squad. If you don't have some of these heroes built up, like I mentioned, you can probably try replacing them with Arden in the second team, maybe for the magical damage team. And even if you don't have these heroes ascended, like maybe if they're even at legendary plus or something, you can still try them in this lineup. It might still give you the highest damage output. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this one. And also, as always, you can share your own formations in the comment section. It could help out other viewers who maybe don't have these heroes, or like, and this is just probably the best team. Who knows, there may be an even better team combination out there, but I think from the looks of things, this does seem to be the overall highest performing team. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.